cold day on the Island of Sodor. All the engines were working their hardest. Sir Topham Hatt was in his office when the telephone rang. "Hello? Speaking. Who would this be?" "Yes." "Oh, no. I'm so sorry." "I understand. I will let them know. Thank you. Have a good evening." And Sir Topham Hatt hung up the phone and went to the sheds. At the sheds, the engines were just about to settle in for the night when Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds, saddened and devastated. "Engines, I just got off the phone, and I have some unfortunate news to pass along to you all." "What would that be, sir?" said Thomas. "It is with deep sorrow and deep regret that Her Majesty the Queen has announced that the Duke of Edinburgh has passed away peacefully. I'm sorry to inform you all. This is a great loss for the royal family." And Sir Topham Hatt turned on his heel and walked away. The engines were saddened and shocked. "This is so unfortunate," said Henry. "I cannot believe that he is no longer with us." "Quite right, Henry. A royal man, an amazing person, an amazing individual. I can't believe that he is lost." "This is quite a saddening time," said Edward. "But it's best that we get some rest. This will be an unfortunate couple of days to reflect on his passing." And so the engines fell asleep, reflecting on the memory of the Duke of Edinburgh. Days passed, and tributes poured around from all over the world. Flying Scotsman with a few other engines were designated to go to London as part of a special rail tour in the memory of the Duke of Edinburgh. Spencer and Gordon were a few of those engines, especially 87546, or as we know now as Crovan. Spencer's coaches, along with Helen, Crovan's private coach, and a few other coaches were added to the train. Sir Topham Hatt was designated to go to London as well. Thomas was to lead the way. "This is an emotional time for all of us," said Sir Topham Hatt before he was about to board the coach. "Many years ago, the Queen herself came to Sodor to be part of an amazing celebration here on the island. Last year, Thomas and I went to London as part of the special celebrations for the 75th anniversary of the Railway Series. And now, a year later, we are here to be for her, to be for the Majesty herself, as she is reeling with the royal family for this terrible loss. As we depart to London, may all the rest of my engines work hard and be responsible, reliable, and really useful." The engines cheered, celebrated as they blew their whistles and horns and bells. Sir Topham Hatt boarded Henrietta, and soon the cavalcade made their way to London. When they arrived at London, Sir Topham Hatt disembarked Henrietta and arrived at the palace. There he was greeted by the Queen, who was thankful that Sir Topham Hatt came to be for her. "I am deeply sorry for your loss, your Majesty. Know that all the island of Sodor is here for you, and that we are a dedicated credit to our services on the railway." The Queen smiled. After a few minutes of conversation and reflection, Sir Topham Hatt tipped his hat, said goodbye, and reboarded Henrietta as everyone made it back to Sodor. That evening, all the engines were waiting at Knapford Station, awaiting the return of the engines that went to London. Soon they could hear a distant whistle. "That sounds like Thomas," said Henry. And it was. Thomas, leading the way with Annie, Clarabelle, and many of the engines, came back. Sir Tom had exited Henrietta and spoke to the engines. Ladies, gentlemen, and engines, I return with the engines here to tell you all that the Majesty herself is doing very well and holding up despite everything. She says to all the engines here that you are all really useful engines and let steam live on forever. Or should I say that every engine, no matter what, steam or diesel or electric, or however they are powered by, live on forever. All the engines smiled and agreed. Even Edward had to agree with what the Queen had said. And that night, as the stars twinkled into the night, Thomas looked into the heavens and reflected on an amazing journey to London, and of course, being there for not just anyone in need, but Her Majesty herself, the Queen.